We have 300 thousandths. We need to find equivalent fractions with denominators of 100 and 10, and then we need to write 300 thousandths as a decimal. So first, let's find an equivalent fraction with a denominator of 100. We can use division to find equivalent fractions. 1000 divided by 10 is 100, so if we do the same to the numerator, 300 divided by 10 is 30. So 300 thousandths is equivalent to 30 hundredths. But how many tenths is that equivalent to? Well, 100 divided by 10 is 10, and 30 divided by 10 is 3. So that's 3 tenths. So how can we write 300 thousandths as a decimal? Well, the denominator of 1,000 tells us that we can't go past the thousandths place value. So we can write 300 thousandths as 0.300, so with 3 digits after the decimal point, because the third digit is the thousandths digit. But because we can't go past that, the 3 gets shifted all the way over to the tenths. But 300 thousandths is equivalent to 30 hundredths, and we can write 30 hundredths as 0.30. The denominator of 100 tells us that we can't go past the hundredths place, so can only have 2 digits after the decimal point. But 30 hundredths is the same size or equivalent to 3 tenths, and that's just 0.3. So this is the reason why we don't need to write zeros on the end of decimals. If there are zeros on the end of decimals, then they'll always be equivalent to a fraction with a smaller denominator. Now we have 30 thousandths. First, we need to find an equivalent fraction with a denominator of 100. 1,000 divided by 10 is 100, and 30 divided by 10 is 3. So 30 thousandths is equivalent to 3 hundredths. How can we write that as a decimal? Well, if we look at 30 thousandths, the denominator of 1,000 tells us that we can only have 3 digits after the decimal point. We can't go past the thousandths place value. So that's 0.030 with 3 digits after the decimal point, so the 3 gets pushed over into the hundredths. But 30 thousandths is equivalent to 3 hundredths, so we don't need the 0 on the end of this decimals. We can just write 30 thousandths as 0.03 because it's equivalent or the same size as 3 hundredths, so we don't need zeros on the end of decimals. Thank you so much for watching. I really hope that was helpful. If you're a teacher or a parent, then please subscribe or go to keystage2maths.com to download resources for this lesson and many more. That's all for now. I'll see you in the next video.